I've been using the Fellow Tally every morning to make coffee. I'm going to give you a quick review of what you can expect, and then I don't know what time it is, but I'm pretty tired, so we're going to also make some coffee. So let's get started. Here's how it looks from the outside. You have this ring, which is where you put anything you want to weigh, and then you have this other platform that has 1, 2, 3 buttons that I'll go over in a minute. And then there's really nothing else on the sides except for on the top. And this is USB-C, which is what you can use to recharge it. As for weight, because I thought this was pretty funny, you can put it on another scale and it measures 588 grams. And then for a fair comparison, let's see how much the other food scale weighs. And it weighs 326 grams. So the Fellow Tally is like significantly heavier than this pretty basic food scale that takes 2 AAA batteries. So, it's a little bit heavier, but it does have a battery in it that's rechargeable, so that's probably taking up some of the weight. For general materials, so this ring, which is where you can use to measure anything like coffee grounds, coffee beans, or anything else in the kitchen. This is more of a matte material, and I wiped it down before recording this video, and you can see it does have like a ring from my coffee brewing process. So if you want, you can wipe that down. It wipes down pretty easily. And then this section is kind of like a fingerprint magnet. So, wipe it down if you need to, but it is what it is. Now for the 3 buttons. So to turn it off, since it's already on, you could hold down this button. If you want to turn it on, simply press the button once. It boots up for a second, and then you are good to go. For all the different options, pressing it again will tear it, and that'll bring it back to a 0 gram. If you turn the knob, it changes into different units. So if you're doing grams, great. If you're doing ounces, great, and then so on. I found this really nice because it measures like fractional grams. So I'm doing coffee, I usually do 35 grams, but if you're doing 35.5 grams, if that matters to you, it is what it is. My other food scale that I have here that I've been using for a while only measures in flat grams. So if you are at 34.9, it's going to be 34 grams. I don't know if this rounds up or down. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. For changing the settings, you use this 3-dot menu here, and then you can change some of the settings here. So you can do brew assist, you can set a timer, you can cycle through the weight, and then those are the only options you have. I do recommend reading the manual for this, and it's pretty insightful. And then if you do have any timer set, you can press this button to start the timer, and then you're good to go. Let's make some coffee, because like I said, it is coffee time. And I'll go through how to use the brew assist and then how to measure the beans, and we'll see what that looks like. Let's measure out 20 grams of coffee. Almost first try. Okay. This is what I mean about the fractional grams. It's really nice to be able to really get the exact number here. Come on, 19.9. Okay, there we go. I'm also using the Fellow Stag to boil my water. Check somewhere around here or the video description for that review. My water's ready, so I can start brewing with this Aeropress here. I'm going to be using the Brew Assist with a 16:1 coffee to water ratio. Let's get that started. Make sure before you pour your coffee grounds into your brewing apparatus that you actually tare whatever you're doing first. That way the coffee readout number is going to be the most accurate, and then you're going to get the grams of water to coffee ratio and not, water to Aeropress ratio. I also spilled 0.2 grams as I was getting it into the Aeropress, so that's great that we have that fractional gram number so that we can really get a super exact water measurement here. Now that we have this all set up, we could push the timer button, and then we can start incrementing the weight that we need in water. And there's also a timer, so if you're doing anything like a pour over where timing matters, you could use that option. But if you're doing something like an Aeropress, it's 1 cent of water and that's it. Something unique about the Aeropress is I actually can't fit 316 grams of water into the actual Aeropress. So I'm gonna make up the difference when I plunge this into a mug, and then I'll pour the rest of the water into the mug. So we'll add 139 grams of water to the mug when we're ready. The timer is really nice to make sure that you're staying on track with making sure you don't overbrew your coffee. I'm gonna go with 4 minutes here, and I'll get back to you in 20 seconds. I got this all set up, and my numbers for the brew assist are all kind of messed up, so let's change this back to regular weight, and then we needed 139 grams of water. So let's tear it out, pour in exactly 139 grams of water. Let's see if we can get close. 132. It's getting pretty full, but that is going to be a good, Americano brew style from the Aeropress here. Pretty good. A good coffee scale is really there to assist you and help you stay more organized and on track as you're brewing coffee. And the fellow tally, I think, does a really good job of helping you stay organized and giving you a lot of different options to assist in different brewing processes. For me, you watched me sort of struggle through doing an Aeropress. I don't normally do Aeropress. I usually do a pour over. And the pour over is much easier because the brew assist is more helpful because you don't have to do the whole song and dance of double measuring water. I picked up my tally on Quince, but you can check a lot of different other retailers. I'll leave some affiliate links down below in the description if you're interested in checking it out. I'm going to go finish drinking this, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one.